Prepare for language by taking out a piece of paper and a pencil. We're going to begin by standing and reviewing some of the concepts that we have been learning. Some of them have been the difference between remain and stay, the difference between among and between, and lay and lie. So let's go ahead and stand and we'll say our sentences. Once I say it, you'll say it and you'll stomp your feet. Ready? Tim and I are going to the play.
Tim and I are going to the play.
She and Marge were the winners.
She and Marge were the winners.
He and his friends took us to lunch.
He and his friends took us to lunch.
Good. The coat will lie there until someone picks it up.
The coat will lie there until someone picks it up.
I hope you don't leave your things around the house for someone else to pick up. The missing hat was found lying just outside the door.
The missing hat was found lying just outside the door.
Please don't lay that wrench on my chair.
Please don't lay that wrench on my chair.
The secret will remain among the three of us.
The secret will remain among the three of us.
The secret will remain between you and me.
The secret will remain between you and me.
The boys were playing between the houses.
The boys were playing between the houses.
And our last one, who is here besides Jim?
Who is here besides Jim?
Good, excellent. Well, let's continue by playing 100% row relay. You may have a seat. You're going to take that piece of paper and pencil that you have, and I have some words up on our PowerPoint, and you're going to look at the first one. The first person in each row is going to look at it, and you're going to change it into a plural form. So we've been learning in previous lessons how you add S or ES to a word, or maybe even change a letter to create the plural form of it. So you're going to take your piece of paper and pencil and write down the first word into plural form. Then you'll pass it back to the person behind you. The next person will write the next word on the board. And as we get to the end of the row, we'll check and see which row has 100%. So our first word is bird. Bird. Change that into the plural form. Good. Our next word is life. Change life into its plural form. All right, our next word is necklace. Necklace. So we've got some fast writers here today. Our next word is belief. Belief. This is a thinking question. Oops. And our last word for the day, seat 5, sheep. How would you change that to the plural form? All right, let's go ahead and check those. For your first one, so the last person in each row, let's go ahead and check these. Our first word we have was bird. To change bird into the plural form, you would say birds. You would just add one S to it. The next word was life. To change life into the plural form, you would change the F to a V and add an S. Lives. The next one is necklace. We already have an E there, so you're just going to change it and add an S to it. This one here is a hard one. I hope you all got it right. Beliefs could be changed to believes, but that means something else. It's a different word. So you would just simply add an S. How many of you got that right? Good job, row 1. And our last word we have is sheep. And you might say, Miss Van Heuvel, there's no S at the end. Well, that's because sheep is a plural and a singular noun. So we would not add an S to it. Well, I hope you did great. Let's see how many, give me a show of hands. How many of you got that? 100%. Nicely done, row 5 and row 3. Keep up the rest of the work. Good work. All right, well, let's go ahead and look up at our chart we've been learning. We've done the subjective and the objective case pronouns. So let's go ahead and sing through those together with the song We Know It Too. I, you, he, and she, it, and we, and they. Subjective case pronouns are the subject of a sentence. Me, you, him, and her, it, and us, and them. Objective case pronouns follow verbs and prepositions. Nicely done, class. Let's sing through that a little bit faster. I, you, he, and she, it, and we, and they. Subjective case pronouns are the subject of a sentence. Me, you, him, and her, it, and us, and them. Objective case pronouns follow verbs and prepositions. Nicely done. Well, boys and girls, I have an exciting story to tell you about. One time when I was feeling kind of hungry, I went to a snack store. And my favorite snack is Oreos. I don't know how many of you love Oreos, but I love Oreos. And I picked up a pack of Oreos, and I went and I sat down after I paid for them at a little table. And the person who was behind me sat down next to me, which I thought was rather odd. And I opened up my package of Oreos, and I ate one. And the guy across the table from me reached over and took my Oreos and ate one. Can you believe it? I was shocked. I reached over and I grabbed my Oreos back and I ate another one. And he reached over and he took it back. And this went back and forth until the Oreos were all gone. I was so amazed. At the end, when we had finished the Oreos, I quietly dismissed myself and took the Oreo package and threw it away. But you know what? Later on when I got home and I was unpacking my bag, you want to know what I found? I found a package of Oreos. Those were his Oreos, not my Oreos. Well, that funny story reminds me of what we're going to be learning today. We're going to be learning about possessive case pronouns today. The possessive case pronouns, as you can see here, show ownership. Possessive case pronouns show ownership. So for example, if I was to say, this water bottle is mine. Or maybe I would say, this room is my room. It's showing ownership and it's a pronoun. What's something that you own, Dad?
A car.
Oh, good. A nice one. A car. What do you own, Paige?
Shoes.
Nice. Those are some things we own. But you know what? Who owns everything? He owns more than everyone in this room combined. It's God. He owns everything. And that reminds me of a verse in Psalms 24, verse 1, which says, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So everything in this whole world is his, and he owns it, just like our possessive case pronouns remind us that God owns everything. So I hope today as you're working, that you remember that God owns everything, which means he owns you and he owns our time. So we want to be good stewards of what he's given to us today. So our possessive case pronouns show ownership. Whoops. Let me get my slide back here. There we go. So you can see on that chart there, as well as the chart that we've been learning up on the front, that possessive case pronouns have quite a few pronouns, but don't worry, we'll be learning those as we go along. We have my, your, his, her, it, our, and their. And you also notice that for a few of them, there's two. So we have my and mine, your and yours, her and hers, our and ours, their and theirs. And they all end with an S, the ones that have two. I'm going to read some examples here just to help us get an understanding of what possessive case pronouns look like. So this is Katie's book. If I was going to replace Katie with a possessive pronoun, I would say this is her book. Max's computer is small. His computer is small. The pillows are Miss Vandenhuvel's. The pillows are mine. The class's desks were dirty. Their desks were dirty. I hope your desks aren't dirty today. John and Martha's dishes sparkled. Their dishes sparkled. The party was Jason's. The party was his. The juniper is growing in Linda's yard. The juniper is growing in her yard. Guests are always welcome at Madison's house. Guests are always welcome at her house. We are going out to the farm during my family's visit. We are going out to the farm during our visit. Aunt Marge's cat ran outside. Her cat ran outside. Well, as you heard me say some possessive case pronouns, let's look up at the PowerPoint and you'll see a couple examples and we'll work through these together. The first example we have is Christiana's purple sweater. So Christiana is our possessive noun here. So we would replace it with her. That is her purple sweater. Our next sentence is, you should come to my family's house for supper. Families is our possessive case pronoun, so we replace it with our. You should come to our house for supper. Miss Vandenhuvel's house is on the corner of Kellogg and James Street. So the possessive noun here is Miss Vandenhuvel's. So we're going to replace that with my. My house is on the corner of Kellogg and James Street. The car around the corner is Jack's. So Jack's is a guy's name, so we replace it with his. The car around the corner is his. The group chat was Caroline and my best attempt to get everyone together. So there's two people and it's referring to myself, so I'd replace it with our. The group chat was our best attempt to get everyone together. A couple more examples here. Watermelon is Sharon and Katie's favorite fruit. I love watermelon too, but I can't say it's my favorite. I like peaches more. So there's two, so we would say their. Watermelon is their favorite fruit. Three more here. The Oreos that the stranger ate were not Miss Vandenhuvel's. So if they weren't mine, if they were the stranger's, then they were not mine. Jane's is the best house on the block. So it's talking about a girl, so we would use hers. Hers is the best house on the block. The pink sweater is Andrea's favorite one. So talking about a girl here again, so we would use her. That pink sweater is her favorite one. And our last sentence here, the house plans that we followed were Steve and Maureen's. Steve and Maureen's, there's two people, so we would use theirs. The house plans that we followed were theirs. Well, as we look back at some of those sentences, you'll see the apostrophe S in that sentence, and we'll see another apostrophe S next to Jane's and Andrea's. But if you look with me up here at our chart, you'll see that our possessive case pronouns don't have apostrophes. Why would that be? Well, this is a very important thing that I need you to pay close attention to. None of our possessive case pronouns have apostrophes. They have S's after them, but they don't have apostrophes. If you look at with me my PowerPoint, you'll see what happens if we add an apostrophe. If we were to add apostrophe, it would create a contraction. And we've been learning in English that contractions are when two words are put together. If I was to say, the car is hers, and then I put an apostrophe, it changes the sentence to say, the car is her, is, which doesn't make any sense. So we need to remember as we're working today that apostrophes do not go in our possessive case pronouns. So class, what do we not find in our possessive case pronouns?
Apostrophes.
Good, apostrophes. Let's sing through our chart of possessive case pronouns. We sing it to the exact same tune that we've sung our subjective and objective case pronouns to. And at the end, we're going to say they show ownership. So let's sing this together. We're just going to sing these words. We're not going to sing these ones off to the side. My, your, his, and her, it, and our, and theirs. Possessive case pronouns show ownership. Let's sing that together one more time. My, your, his, and her, it, and our, and their. Possessive case pronouns show ownership. Excellent job. Well, there's something else that possessive case pronouns do, and they give us clarity in the sentence. If I was to say that the fish, if I had a fish and I said, he is I fish, you would be confused. That doesn't make a lot of sense. He is not I fish, he is my fish. Or I might say, the fish is mine. So as we're working today, keep this in mind that the possessive case pronouns give us indication that we can know who the subject belongs to or who owns the object that you're talking about. Another clue that's very helpful as you're working on your worksheets and your homework tonight is that our possessive case pronouns, do you notice there's a few that end with S? There's yours, hers, ours, and theirs. So if you see a pronoun in a sentence and it ends with S, you can know that it's going to be a possessive case pronoun because our subjective and our objective case pronouns don't have S's after them, obviously except for us, but that's a word. So if you see a pronoun that ends with S, you can know it's possessive case. All right, well, there's one other rule that we need to remind ourselves of, and that is to only capitalize possessive pronouns when they begin the sentence or the pronoun I, because we would only capitalize it if it was at the beginning of a sentence, because that's one of the capitalization rules we've been learning, even though it replaces the proper noun often. There's three types of nouns that we know: the proper noun, the common noun, and the personal pronoun. And even though these are replacing often proper nouns that are capitalized, we still don't capitalize them unless they're at the beginning of the sentence. So let's look through these sentences that I have up here on the board together. Let's practice together. Our first sentence says, it was Neil and Debbie's party. So Neil and Debbie's are possessive case, or a possessive noun in that word. So we would need to replace that. What would we replace it with?
Their.
Charity? Good, their. It was their party. Let's look at one more sentence before we go to the board. Morgan's dad left on Saturday. So what is our possessive noun in this sentence, Charity?
Morgan's.
Morgan's, good. So it's a girl's. So we would say her dad left on Saturday. Excellent job. Well, we've got some words on our sideboard. Up here on our trees, I have a possessive tree and I have a subjective tree. And you'll see there's leaves stormed all around it. The wind blew in and I need some help taking my leaves and putting them back on the tree where they belong. So row one, come up to the sideboard and you're going to take these and move them onto which tree they belong. Try not to peek at our chart because that's cheating. The rest of the class, I have some sentences. I'm going to read a sentence to you and I want you to help me identify what the possessive noun is and what the possessive noun is, and then what the pronoun would be that we would replace it with. So be listening carefully. You don't know if I'll call on you. Our first sentence says, the woman's shirt was beautiful. So what was our possessive noun in that sentence, Charity?
Woman's.